Welcome everyone. In today's video, we're going to learn how to analyze a poem step by step in a simple and easy way. In this lesson, we will break down poetry analysis into clear steps so that you can confidently explain any poem in your exams or assignments. The first and most important step in analyzing a poem is reading. You should read the poem at least 2 to 3 times. The first reading is just to understand the overall idea and feel of the poem. Don't stop to analyze deeply at this stage, just focus on getting familiar with the words and flow. In the second reading, pay attention to the tone, emotions, and any repeated words or ideas. Try to notice what the poet is generally talking about. After reading the poem, the next step is title analysis. The title of a poem is very important because it often gives us a clue about the main idea or theme. Sometimes the title directly tells us what the poem is about, while other times it has a deeper or symbolic meaning. When analyzing the title, ask yourself, what does it suggest? Does it match the poem's message, or does it create curiosity? A good title can prepare the reader for what is coming in the poem, and it often reflects the central theme or emotion. The next step in analyzing a poem is identifying the speaker and the situation. The speaker is the voice in the poem. It is not always the poet themselves. Sometimes the speaker can be a character, an observer, or an imagined voice created by the poet. The situation refers to what is happening in the poem. It includes the setting, the context, and the circumstances in which the poem is written or taking place. The next step in analyzing a poem is paraphrasing. Paraphrasing means rewriting the poem in your own simple words, line by line or stanza by stanza. The goal is to understand the literal meaning of the poem without focusing on literary devices at this stage. This step helps you clear any confusion and makes the poem easier to understand. The next step in analyzing a poem is identifying the theme. The theme is the central idea or main message that the poet wants to share with the reader. It is not just what the poem is about on the surface, but the deeper meaning behind it. While finding the theme, think about what lesson, emotion, or idea is repeated throughout the poem. It could be love, nature, death, loneliness, or any social or personal issue. The next step in analyzing a poem is identifying literary devices. Literary devices are techniques that poets use to make their writing more powerful and expressive. These include figures of speech such as metaphor, simile, personification, alliteration, imagery, and symbolism. While analyzing, try to find where and how these devices are used in the poem. For example, a metaphor compares two things directly, while imagery helps create pictures in the reader's mind. Structure refers to how the poem is organized, such as the number of stanzas, lines, and how the ideas are arranged. Form refers to the type of poem, for example, whether it is a sonnet, lyric, free verse, or narrative poem. While analyzing structure and form, notice how the poem is built. Does it follow a regular pattern, or is it free-flowing? Does the structure support the meaning of the poem? The final step in analyzing a poem is critical appreciation. Critical appreciation means giving your overall judgment and evaluation of the poem. In this step, you combine everything you have studied: theme, structure, speaker, and literary devices, and explain how effectively the poet has delivered the message.